Just imagine with me, you're standing in the midst of a field, a wilderness. The land has been torched, it's parched, dry. There's really nothing living there. It's sterile. This land could be physical land that you own. It could be a part of your life, part of your journey. It could be the very promises that you once carried. It could be family members. It could be really anything. But as you stand in the midst of this parched, dry wilderness, suddenly a sound begins to emerge. Sound of joy, singing. All of a sudden there is a blossoming, breaking forth of brilliant color, roses, and a rejoicing, a gladness. It's like it's explosive. It just multiplies upon itself, colors and sound and joy and gladness. And you can look at it and say, wow, there are things that are coming that are full of glory, like places I've known before, things I heard about, days of old, excellence and majesty. And as you're standing in the midst of this miracle, you hear a voice from within and from behind saying, don't be afraid. Strengthen the weak hands. Make firm those knees. It's time again to engage your work, and it's time again to worship anew. And as this inner voice rises inside of you, you begin to come alive again. It's as though what was asleep wakes up, and suddenly the sound is multiplied and amplified, and others are hearing, don't be afraid. Those whose hearts had ran away from them and water, now all of a sudden they're coming alive. And the voice of God is being heard in the voice of his church, and people are saying, don't be afraid. Be strong. Don't be afraid. Fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance and recompense. He'll come and save you. And as these words are heard and people receive them, it is as though you hear the cries of the multitude. I can see. I can hear. My ears, I can hear again. My heart, I understand. People are leaping and dancing where they could not move themselves. And the joy of the moment, the song that's continuing, it's growing. And then in the midst of the people, waters start to burst forth, the very life force of the earth. The water begins to come into the desert places. Rivers begin to flow. Where there was only vapor, where people were living on the smallest of substance, suddenly pools begin to emerge. And where there had been a drought in stricken land, all of a sudden fountains of water. In the midst of where once ruled dragons and jackals becomes a place of reeds and rushes and beauty. It's just glorious. And right there, above and from within, a highway appears. It's a higher way than we've walked before. It's the road of love. It's the sanctified calling out of each of the redeemed and the ransomed. And you find yourself up on that road, and no longer is the unclean or the treachery and the things that have once kept pulling you back into that barren place finding its way after you. Instead, it's a company of people. They're called the ransomed of the Lord, the redeemed. And as they return, for they're returning to Zion, we're returning to a place that we were destined to know. There's singing, there's joy, there's gladness, sorrow, sighing, things that we were way too familiar with. Grief is fleeing, not just disappearing, it's running in terror of itself, for this joy, this completion, this victory has broken forth, and it's affected everyone. This beautiful transformation has taken place and among a company of people. That's what I believe is going to happen October 8th through the 11th when we meet for what we're calling the Highway 35 Conference. It's going to begin on a Wednesday evening at 7 and go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It'll go in the morning, in the afternoon. It's going to be a group of people who have encountered God individually, collected together for a sovereign transformation inside our hearts, our homes, and as far as God could reach. We're gathering as we would, as they did for Pentecost, by trying to pray our way into it. So I pray, register. Register, go online and register so that you can have a chance to be prayed for. And we want to continue to update everyone with where we are currently, what we're hearing, so we can arrive together. Isaiah 35, for us, is now a music score. It's like a Beethoven piece, or like Handel's Messiah. It's something that have been given to handle together and prepare ourselves, because I believe with all my heart God's going to come and cause the sound of Isaiah 35 to resonate from within each and every one of us. So that's October 8th, and it's all the way through the 11th, and it is indeed our time to be together. I hope you can join us.